Can I sit with you? Well, you need to get up in and out, right? Do you want me to be in? Sorry, I'm total mess this morning. Me too. But you know, what else is new? Locks it out. And I'm going to change it because I just like to.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. Glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, racial orientation, or gender identity, you're welcome to worship here in the Partners Meeting. How does, I can't quite hear from what it sounds like. Is that like too loud? Perfect. It's perfect. Okay. Like I'm getting like the Friday the Yankees back going on right now. So I wanted to start, well, before we begin to today's opening words, are there any announcements this morning? Julie, of course.
Thursday, 6:30 p.m. craft night.
Okay. Debbie?
There'll be a brief meeting of the fundraising committee about the thing that's coming up on November 18th. If anybody is interested in helping out or finding out some more specifics about what we do, and if you can help out, probably for about a half hour or so. And also, I think Donna passing out cards for food basket at the beginning of November. And she'll give you a card with some donations, you bring them in that spot on the hall.
And also we're asking for scratch tickets.
Yes.
For you or for the event?
No, for the event, because we have, one of our raffle items is a collection of laundry sheets, so. And I think that's it. I have right now.
You're gonna need volunteers to like set up and take down and all that. Okay. All right, any other announcements? All right, so for today's opening,
One more.
oh, sorry.
Yes, next Sunday, the Halloween party, and I think they're looking for, Jews looking for extra food donations.
Yeah, because it's gonna be pop-up style.
It's gonna be a potluck style, so if anybody can help out that way, maybe see, Jude, have a copy out, see what he needs.
Okay, Susan?
Also, everyone is invited to wear costumes. The kids can certainly wear costumes and they're going to parade around here. I haven't heard back yet from Webster Park to know if we're going to go over there and walk through for some of the residents over there. And then the potluck will be, there'll be people from other union churches stopping in. Some of them probably be in costumes.
Jude, is there anything you want to add, anything you need from the congregation to prepare for next week? Okay. I'll be good. All right. Any other announcements? Okay. Would it surprise anyone here if I told you that Americans prefer fall to all other seasons? I'm not making that up. There are polls and everything. That's not to say that anyone who prefers any of the other seasons is wrong, but the rest of us, including myself, thank you for indulging us today. If I had to guess why we overwhelmingly love fall so much, it's probably because fall marks the beginning of things, which is surprising because we say goodbye to so much from spring and summer weather. So we start our school and our church here in the fall. Football starts while baseball ends, unless you only watch the playoffs and baseball's just getting started. When I was a kid, I loved fall because that meant no more reruns on TV. So there were finally new episodes of Cheers, Resolution, and that Star Trek season finale cliffhanger. Pumpkin Spice starts flowing as Mariah Carey falls. It makes sense to start communal things once the summer is over, especially here in Massachusetts where so few buildings are air conditioned. And that was a bit of a shock moving up here from the American South where everything is over air conditioned and people bring sweaters into movies and restaurants. It's hard to find the time to slow down and sit together when the world is in full bloom outside. So we are now deep into the season where we read each other more, preparing for the end of abundance in the season of traditional gatherings. We share ourselves, our homes, our food, and our belongings at Oktoberfest, Halloween, Thanksgiving. We participate in more fundraisers like breast cancer awareness in October, and November and No Shave November. We get lost in corn mazes, pick apples, writing each other for candy. We tend to share with those we know in our community, the people we love and want to see it make it through winter. But what do we do for the newcomers who don't know anybody? We may not even have sweaters or sweater weather. Rockland is greeting new families this fall, all with children, some down on their luck, others from hundreds or thousands of miles away, waiting for a chance to earn a share of our abundance. Not everyone wants to help. Some may question how they ended up here, or what it will mean for their own families. It's hard sometimes to see beyond your own family's needs as heating costs go up and Christmas looms. But need doesn't go away just because we deem those with need unworthy. We don't know what conditions led people to leave their homes, putting themselves in the custody of a state or country they've never known. What happenstances caused them to lose or give up all for a chance, any chance, for a better life for their kids. We are lucky, some may even say blessed, to have each other, this community, the only state in the union that guarantees a right to shelter for children and now breakfast and lunch in schools, and a country mostly free of violence and still a beacon of hope for others around the world. And that is why I hope that as we light our chalice today, we do so with the promise to share our warmth, community, and service with those who need it most right now. To give a little of ourselves to help them through what may be their first true New England weather. After all, I seem to recall someone, perhaps the Wampanoag and Massasoit people, doing that for our ancestors not too far from here in Plymouth. With that, will everyone please stand as you're willing and able, the laying of the chalice, and find the words that we recite together in your order of service. Kindling this flame of our liberal heritage, let us open to the presence of the sacred. And now our affirmation, please.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Please be seated. And I'd like to welcome up from our RE program, Denise Walmart.
Good morning. I'm going to say just before I read the story is I actually chose it before I got the email about the migrants coming to Rockland. And it's even more poignant given what's going on in our state and in this town. So just keeping that in mind as I read the story. So the story I'm going to read is called The Ant and the Grasshopper, and it is adapted from one of Aesop's fables. One summer's day, a grasshopper was hopping about in the field, chirping and singing to his heart's content. Hard-working ant passed by, struggling with the weight of a kernel of corn she was taking to the nest. "Why not come and sing with me?" said Grasshopper. "You are working much too hard." "I am helping to store food for the winter," said hard-working ant. "You should be doing this too, since there won't be anything to eat once it gets cold and snow falls." "Why worry about winter?" said Grasshopper. "There's plenty of food around here." Hard-working ant shook her head and continued on her way, carrying the heavy kernel of corn. Day after day, hard-working ant trudged back and forth from the cornfield to the ant nest, struggling to carry kernel after kernel to store for winter. Day after day, Grasshopper danced merrily across the fields, teasing hard-working ant. "Forget about work. Listen up. Enjoy the summer," Grasshopper sang. When the cold winds of winter began to blow and the puffy flakes of snow began to fall, food did indeed become very scarce. Grasshopper soon found himself hungry and cold, but the ants were toasty warm, sharing all the food they had collected during the summer. Poor Grasshopper came one day to the door of the ants' house, shivering so badly he could hardly knock. Welcoming ant answered the door and looked at poor hungry Grasshopper. "Please," Grasshopper begged, "it is so cold out here and I am starving. There is no food anymore." Welcoming ant stepped aside to let Grasshopper in, but another ant stepped forward. It was hard-working ant who had watched Grasshopper sing and dance all summer while she worked hard to gather food. Don't let him in, hard-working ant protested. He wasted his summer singing and dancing while we worked hard to store our food. He does not deserve to reap the benefits of our hard work. Welcoming ant, the one who had been about to let Grasshopper in, shook his head. This may be so, said Welcoming ant, but we cannot allow him to starve. He is a creature like us. Just because he made a foolish choice, it does not mean we can condemn him to death. Welcoming ant waved one of his 6 arms and invited Grasshopper inside. Grasshopper eagerly walked to the ant's house and sat right down at the table filled with food. He stuffed himself until he was full, while hard-working ant stared resentfully at him. Then Grasshopper pushed himself away from the table and began to sing. It was a catchy tune, a happy one, and soon all the ants found themselves laughing and dancing, even hard-working ant. And all through that cold, long winter, the ants shared with Grasshopper their food, and Grasshopper shared with them his songs and his joy. They all had a wonderful time together, even hard-working ant. She had to admit that winter time was more pleasant with Grasshopper and his songs around.
So now is a part of our service where we share our joys and concerns with one another. So part of today's service is that this is a joint service that we are doing with the religious exploration. So we're going to do some things the grown-up service way. We're going to do some other things the RE way. So Dottie is going to help me with the stones of joys and concern. So what do we do with the stones of joys and concern? Do people take turns sharing something that they're concerned about or are happy about this week? Right, so we put a stone in there for each one, right? And then at the end, they're all gathered together, right? Because we've shared all our joys and concerns with each other, which helps us all make each other feel better and celebrate. Okay. Do we have any joys and concerns today? Tiffany?
Hi, we took a little trip towards the end of the week with a bunch of friends and went to the Great Wolf Lodge. And it was a lot of fun to be able to have a lot of fun together. So it was a really special time. So I have that joy.
And also one of our friends are here.
That's right. And we also have another stone of joy to welcome our friends Alex and Anna here today.
They got lots of stones. Susan?
It's a joy and a whatever. So today was my last day. Today is my last day taking care of the chickens next door. So I go over this morning and I scoop the food and do whatever I have to do. And on my way out, one of the chickens got out. And I chased her around for a little bit and finally I got her to just run in the door. I'm like, not today. Anyway, everyone's safe and sound.
Well, if I learned anything from Rocky 2, it's that if you can catch a chicken, you're fast enough to fight a hollow. Debbie?
For my sister Bonnie, who started her first chemo on Thursday, having a little issues with it, but she's still with us today.
We're starting for Bonnie, but she feels better soon. Don?
It's a joy. Kind of concern. Phil's having a big birthday on November 2nd. And we're having a little get together on the 4th that we would like to invite everybody to. It's an open house and it starts at 2:00 and we'll have food and of course drinks.
That's the big 40.
Any questions? I have invitations.
Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to say, a couple weeks ago, I came here and I was feeling really blue, more sad and felt a little time. And I felt that the service kind of, I felt that it lifted me out, and that has continued for some time now, and I'm just pleased that that was the first thing that kind of turned things around for me, that made me feel more positive. But I also want to say I have a huge decision coming up this weekend about my housing and where I'm going to live. And we're happy and concerned about that.
Alex?
My joy is that our youngest baby, who's 11 months, is starting to stand. He just like took his first step this morning. So he has 2 older sisters, and like every time he stands, which is about 100 times a day. So it's a lot of fun in our house.
First steps. And for testing the baby proofing. Any others? Yes.
One more for Carolyn on this, who has been doing.
Tom, do you want to put one more in for all the joys and concerns that each of us may be carrying with us and may not be ready to share this yet? Thank you. So before we move into the next portion, we've shared a lot of joys and some very heavy concerns. So it's important that we take a moment to decompress together. So you can close your eyes if you want. There won't be a surprise or anything. I didn't plan that far in advance. It'd be funny when you open your eyes and we're going to steer your comments or something. Ray, don't do that. No dates. So we're going to focus a little bit on our breath. So we're going to inhale to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's just hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just sit here, holding 4, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. So it's called, if you haven't done that before, it's called box breathing. I do it before every meeting again too, or especially when I'm going to be talking to someone higher up the food chain, but just to calm, collect. Apparently even like the Navy SEALs do it before they jump out of planes or boats or stuff, so must be something to it. All right. So now, at this time, we'll do our offering. So we take a collection every week to support our ministries, our service projects, things we're trying to do for the community. We have a couple of basket carriers. We need official busters. Yeah. Please stand as you're willing and able for the dedication of the gifts. You'll find the words in the order of service. Most of those who've been here before, you'll probably say this a cappella. Spirit of truth, a life of power, we bring ourselves as gifts to thee. Oh, bind our hearts this sacred hour in faith and hope and charity. Amen. So it is a shorter service today, so we're going to wrap this up and then we're having an activity out in the hall. Since that's how they do it in RE, it's a lot more fun than sermons and lectures. So please, as we're still standing, recite with me the words on the order of service for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment.
These we carry in our hearts until we are together. And no closing benediction. I got copy pasting, so Reverend Judy isn't here. Feel free to make your way to the back for coffee hour and our activity, our fall activity.
Thank you.